Did we do it? Yes! That's credits, baby. All right. First things first. I do want to talk about this game, but first things first. The bottom center of the screen says that we have beaten 17 games in 2024 and 464 since we started doing this in 2020. I don't know where those numbers came from, but they're totally off. We've now beaten 18 games in 2024 and 465 since we started doing this in 2020. Okay, that's it for Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Yes, I have thoughts. So on the whole, I enjoyed this about as much as Grand Theft Auto 3 because it's very similar. And I quite enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 3. However, there are some key differences. I think that the way this game was structured, while a little less convenient for me because it required some side missions, was smarter, made a lot more sense, was more organic. Just made more sense as far as like the whole building up properties and then making money off of them. That's a cool thing. If that existed in Grand Theft Auto 3, I don't know because the game never forced me to do it. I'm inclined to think that it probably did not exist, but either way, I enjoyed that part of the game in this. So I think that's an improvement. The game, there were a handful of missions, 4 or 5, in the original that I did not like because they were poorly explained or there were too many variables outside of your control, that it was very difficult, like escort missions and the like, they were very difficult to complete, and when I would fail I wouldn't know why. That was also present in this game, but I think that only happened twice, and they weren't as bad. So that was an improvement too. There was a lot less frustration this time around with this one. I thought the story was way better. The story in the original doesn't really exist that much. I mean, it's very basic, right? This one's about a guy's. It's actually about this person's rise to power, and that comes across with all like the property buying and all that, but also with like the connections that you make and the people that, you know, stab you in the back or you stab them in the back and all that stuff. Like there was some of that in the first game, but it was kind of all over the place. It wasn't very cohesive. This game tells a much better cohesive story about a person's rise to power in Vice City. 3 is more just a convict just trying to make as much money and chaos as he can. So I thought that was an improvement as well. But outside of that, it was really just all the foundation, the bones that I loved about Grand Theft Auto 3. The best part of this game is the driving. It's fun to drive around the city and get into whatever, the different kinds of missions that require you to use your vehicles to take out other vehicles or to hit checkpoints quickly enough or all that stuff. That's all there in this too, and it's just... so all that's the same, pretty much, and it works. All that works great too. There are a couple other things. I thought the city was formatted better. You didn't have to. There wasn't like one road that was like the only way to get to certain parts of the map. In GTA 3, we had some of that. It was a little bit harder to get around. The map worked better. You could pan around on it, but more easily. It was a better map. There was something else. The boats. There were a couple of boat missions in this game, but there were fewer that required you to use boats. And the boats steered better. They didn't make you drive around that shitty boat from GTA 3 that could barely move. The only time you were ever on a boat in this game was either when you were on a yacht that was somebody else was steering, or you were on a speedboat. And that, even though the boat still didn't control very well, it was better than that shitty tugboat thing from GTA 3. So just the absence of that, again, that kind of goes back to my original point about not as many frustrating missions, but that's part of that. a more specific part of that. And yes, if I'm trying to think of things that I didn't like as much as GTA 3, I can't think of anything. It's better in every way. There were some more inventive missions where you had to like remote control a tiny drone that was like dropping bombs on things, and you had to remote control a couple of things, and that was a lot of fun. There were just more inventive missions. The first GTA 3 has some pretty inventive missions, but this goes even farther with that. That's really all I have to say. I mean, it's everything that GTA was, but slightly better, plus some extra stuff like a good story, extra cool mission types, better layout of the map, the elimination of some of the frustrating elements of GTA 3. I mean, they've improved it in every way. So now I'm really excited to see. I'll probably play San Andreas March or April. So I'm excited to see how that might expand on the formula further. I'll be playing that, and I'm going to try and play that and 4 and 5 all at some point this year. Hopefully we'll get through them soon. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm not answering. We've already seen the credits, so I will not be answering that phone. Last order of business. GTA Vice City. It has been fun. But we are now going to delete you from our console and never play you again. Bye, thanks. Appreciate you. Oh, that one happened really fast.